What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are live once again today on this beautiful Tuesday, and we are here to talk about none other than our main man. Did somebody say Randy Moss? I don't know, but his name is DeVante Parker, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to talk about DeVante Parker because, man, come on, let's keep it 100, y'all. We know we got a future at the wide receiver position. And it's not just Parker. We got Preston Williams as well. But DeVante Parker has literally shut up all the haters. It's a lot of that going around lately. It's a lot of shutting up the haters going around lately. It is a lot of shutting the haters going around lately, man. Shutting up the haters, man. Y'all hit that like button on your way in. Make sure you check me out on Twitter at TD Fans Talk. Also Instagram, TD Fans Talk, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Also, you can find my content at dolphinstalk.com. Shout out to all the mods in the building. I see you, Vic Costa, the first mod with Finsanity checking in. Shout out to the mod squad in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We're 1 minute in. Obviously, the notifications came through because we're already with 30 people in the room. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Listen, man, DeVante Parker so far this season has 53 receptions, all right? Let me give y'all the totals, all right? 53 receptions with 854 yards. First and foremost, I want to say that I'm proud of this kid, man. I'm proud of this kid this season. He is having a hell of a season. And let's just call it what it is. It hasn't taken off until as of late. It didn't take off until recently. All right. Matter of fact, and some of y'all probably know better than me. I need to look it up real quick. Let me look it up. When was Preston Williams injury? When was that injury? Let me go back and look at the date real quick. Let me see. Around November 4th, I believe we got the news of his injury. November 4th was the news of Preston Williams' injury, ladies and gentlemen. Since Preston Williams went down, DeVante Parker has literally been a force to be reckoned with for the Miami Dolphins. Let me give y'all a picture of his season, okay? The first game, and let me go ahead and just paint a picture for you. The first game of the season, we played the Ravens. DeVante Parker had 3 receptions for 75 yards, and a part of it that was one of the only bright spots for that game. Matter of fact, and y'all forgive me, man. Y'all forgive me. Let me go to some more advanced stats because I want to find the targets with the receptions because I want to show you guys something. Y'all give me a second. I want to real quick. Here we go. Game logs. There we go. Right here. Let me see if they have it. Pro Football usually has this stuff. All right, here we go. I love it. Here we go. Right here. I got all the stats. All right. Let's dive deeper into DeVante Parker's season because I think it's worthy of us evaluating how he's actually done. All right. I want to show y'all something, how this season has gone. Okay. The first game versus Baltimore, because he didn't have a great season started out, but he's actually been somewhat productive regardless, okay? Now, the first game of the season, 3 receptions out of 7 targets for 75 yards. He literally averaged 25 yards per reception in the first game. That's a solid game if you ask me, okay? That is a solid game if you ask me, okay? Now, it's not one of those superstar games, but putting up 75 yards for any receiver in this NFL is going to give him over 1,000 yards, okay? Let me go ahead and do the math because in this league, all people care about is the 1,000-yard receiver. I kind of don't like that, but at the end of the day, people gauge receivers off of did they get 1,000 yards, all right? 1,000 yards divided by 16 games. A receiver only needs to get 63 yards a game to hit 1,000 yards. So that's what a lot of people want to gauge things off of. 63 yards is the total, okay? First game of the season, he achieved that. He came back in the New England game, had 7 targets for 0 receptions, y'all. 7 targets for 0 receptions. And he played 92% of the snaps. 92% of the snaps he played. 57 snaps in that game, guys. Literally. And had 0 receptions. He did not start off good at all. He didn't. So when you put game 1 and 2 together, that's 3 for 14. Now it looks trash. We were all talking about, man, DeVante, man, he dropping balls. Hearns was dropping balls. Preston Williams was even dropping balls, even though he was still catching some. Okay? It was a rough start for the kid. Then he comes back versus Dallas and has 3 receptions out of 6 targets for 56 yards. Decent day. Not top 1,000-yard receiver level, but a decent day. And he played 96% of the snaps. Week 4 versus the Chargers. This is where, again, he had 70 yards that day, but he was 4 for 4. It looks like that drop bug has finally went away. The drop bug kind of went away. He was 4 for 4, and we appreciated his game even though we lost. All right? Week 5. 3 receptions out of 4 targets. 75% completion rate. And played 88% of the plays. Then we have Buffalo's game, 5 out of 10 for 55 yards. Have you noticed he hadn't had a 100-yard receiving game yet? Hell, he hadn't even had an 80-yard receiving game yet. If DeVante Parker is going to be mentioned in the likes of Randy Moss, we got to have some 100-yard games. He was literally targeted 10 times and had 5 receptions for 55 yards. Played 85% of the snaps. Now you go over to the Pittsburgh game in week 8. And at this point, here we are in week 8, and I'm still not impressed. Right now at this point, I'm thinking DeVante Parker, he's catching some balls, but it still ain't the guy that we'd hope that he turned out to be. It's just more of the same. We know he can play good games, but it's nothing to hang your hat on to say, oh, man, DeVante Parker. So let's keep it 100, guys. Halfway through the season, we're not impressed. We're not impressed. Now, week 8 comes along and he plays against Pittsburgh. He had another productive day, having 6 receptions out of 8 targets, only 59 yards. He's not having the big impact where it's jumping out of the gym like, whoa. You go to week 9 versus the Jets, and we get our first win. DeVante Parker has 4 receptions out of 6 targets, only 57 yards. Once again, not jumping out of the gym. Still not impressed, y'all. Here we are, literally 9 games in, and we got to be real with ourselves. We're still not impressed. Not disappointed, but not impressed. Okay? Here we go. We find ourselves in week 10, and he has 5 receptions out of 10 targets, 50% with 69 yards. Once again, still not impressed. 10 weeks into the season, and we're still not impressed. So I understand, and this is one of those moments I got to keep it 100 with y'all. I understand all the hoopla about DeVante Parker with what he's done lately. I'm proud of him. But 10 games into the season, we haven't been impressed. But hold your horses, TD. Why haven't we been impressed? Is it really DeVante Parker the reason we haven't been impressed? Now, outside of that atrocious game that he had versus New England, 7 targets and 0 catches, he's been a solid receiver, picking up yards where he could. In a situation where the first 7-8 games, our old line wasn't blocking for our quarterback if we were paying them $50 million each. Our old line was not blocking for our quarterback to deliver accurate passes to DeVante. Nor was it was a lot of receivers well, like secondaries. But something happened in the last 3 weeks. The offense started to wake up. And in large part due to DeVante Parker, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give y'all food for thought. Game 1, Dolphins scored 10 points. Game 2, we scored 0. Game 3, we scored 6. Game 4, we scored 10. Game 5, wow, we got 16. Game 7, we scored 21. Amazing compared to where we came from. Game 8, we scored 14. We finally get a win, scoring 26. Then we come back and score 16. Like literally. By week 10, we had only scored more than 20 points 2 times. And DeVante Parker scored a touchdown in both of those games. We had only scored more than 20 points 2 times. And here we are hitting week 11. And I'm still trying to figure out what made the light go green and things just flipped. I think I know the answer, and I'm going to attempt to answer it for you. But let's go over the last 3 games, guys. Week 11 versus Buffalo. DeVante Parker targeted 10 times with 7 receptions. That's a 70% completion percentage, which is phenomenal. 135 yards. The first time this season he reached over that threshold with 19.29 yards per carry. Played 90% of the game. 62 snaps. That was a hell of a game versus Buffalo. Then he goes to Cleveland, targeted 11 times, 6 receptions, 91 yards, 15.17 yards per. He played 100% of that game, 63 receptions. 63 snaps, my bad, 63 snaps. He played every offensive play, y'all. I like that. And yesterday, 2 days ago, versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Wow. He had another game like he had against Buffalo. They targeted him 10 times, just like they did in Buffalo. Another 7 receptions. This time he ate ridiculously with 159 yards, which is 22.7 yards per reception, 2 touchdowns, and he played 82% of the game. DeVante Parker has been beasting his last 3 weeks of the season. He has come on as a guy possessed the last 3 weeks. And I want to attempt real quick to tell you why the change has taken place. I want to attempt to tell you why it's taking place. It's because Fitzpatrick is throwing the ball up for him. It's that simple. It's that simple. They're throwing the ball up, the deep ball, one-on-one, saying, go get it, young fella, because this is what we knew you could be and what you could do. The scouting report should have always told us DeVante Parker is a go-up-and-get-it guy. But let's keep it real. Outside of that week 2, when he had 7 targets, I think Rosen was even throwing the ball at one point to him when he was dropping all those balls. We abandoned DeVante Parker, if you ask me. We abandoned him. How did we abandon him, TD? Because early in the season, he had a rough start, and we just stopped throwing the ball deep. Let's keep it 100. The first 6 games, after those games where Rosen was throwing dimes and we kept dropping them and stuff like that, after the Dallas game, we just stopped going deep. We stopped throwing deep balls in one-to-one coverage to DeVante. We just stopped. We turned him into a dig route, a comeback route, that's what we turned him into. A guy who was running all digs and comeback routes and post routes. That's what we turned him into. We exercised the route tree on him in slants. And he was making those catches. But that's what we turned him into. And in the last 3 weeks, we actually saw offense throw slant passes, dig routes, comeback routes, but they didn't abandon the go routes. They finally throwing it up and saying, make the play, young fella. And he's doing that. He's healthier than he's ever been. He's healthier than he's ever been. You got to put that in, and I ain't gonna lie, this is the best quarterback to do that. All Fitzpatrick's success in Tampa Bay was him throwing the ball up on the sideline to those tall receivers. Think about it. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Fitzpatrick's best success in Tampa Bay was always throwing the ball up on the sideline to his big, tall receivers. Fitzmagic wasn't coming off of slants and 20-yard passes in the middle of the field. Fitzmagic was coming simply from throw the ball deep on the sideline, let those guys go up and get it. And that's what made Fitzpatrick what made Fitzpatrick. And he's found his favorite target. Not only did he find his favorite target now, he's also found the fact that Preston Williams is no longer on the field, taking away from his targets. Preston Williams, they were relying on Preston Williams going deep more than DeVante Parker at one point. Now there's no Preston Williams, and you got to go deep to DeVante, and he's showing you should have never stopped. So is DeVante Parker looking like Randy Moss this season? Absolutely not. But the last 3 games he has. And there's no reason why we should be slowing down at this pace. Do you know that in the first 9 games, they only targeted him 10 times? Hold on. One time they targeted him 10 times in the first 9 games. In the first 9 games, he had an average target of 6 targets a game. In the first 9 games, he had an average target of 6 targets a game. In the last 4 games, he is averaging 10.25 targets per game. Game 10, 10 targets. Game 11, 10 targets. Game 12, 11 targets. Game 13, 10 targets. Take 41 divided by 4, that's 10.25. If you throw the ball at DeVante Parker 10 times a game and you give him about 3 to 4 shots downfield, he's going to have over 100 yards a game. You can't run from that. DeVante Parker is a huge reason why we won versus the Eagles, 159 yards. Think about it. You take 6 of those targets away. You give him the average 6 targets a game like you were doing earlier in the season. You remove 4 of those targets, make him 6 targets. He never had 7 receptions. You give him 6 targets, it might have been 4 for 6. 65 yards. You got to keep feeding them. This is not the time to abandon it. Last time we played the Jets, we targeted him 6 times. He had 57 yards. That better change tomorrow. That better change this week. That better change when we have MetLife take over. They project, and the crazy thing is they're projecting him to have 5 targets versus the Jets. They're projecting him to have 3 receptions and only 35 yards. Where they get these projections from? They're projecting them to target DeVante Parker 5 times, 3 receptions for 35 yards. Just ridiculous. I don't know where they get these numbers from. Parker tied in AFC for receiving touchdowns. Oh, I didn't know, man. I didn't know that. Let me see. Matter of fact, how many does he have anyway? One moment. I think it was like 10 or something like that. Let me see. No, not 10. Let me see. He has 6 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns. this season. The crazy thing is, if we were feeding him like this early in the season, he'd probably have at least 12. Ain't that crazy? Oh, look at this. This is what's crazy about it. DeVante Parker done been in this league how many years now? Isn't this his 5th year? And he only got 15 touchdowns in his career. And 6 of them are from this year. You mean to tell me in 4 seasons he's had 9 touchdowns? Averaging just over 2 touchdowns a season? In this year alone, 6 touchdowns. Ooh, look at good coaching. Look at good coaching. Look at what coaching will do. Look at what health will do. Shh. 854 yards. He's averaging 16 yards per reception. DeVante Parker is having a hell of a season so far. And I think he's going to end up with about 1,150 yards if he continues to ball out. And he's going to end up with 10 touchdowns. 1,150 yards, 10 touchdowns. Now, y'all let me know in the comment section. Can DeVante Parker make the Pro Bowl this year with 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns? Y'all let me know in the comment section. I'm just curious. I want to know what y'all think. I want to know what y'all think. Can he make the Pro Bowl? That's a good question. Somebody said, yeah. They might snub him from the Pro Bowl because they're biased. I already told y'all that. What's up, brother TD fans? How you doing today? How you feeling? I'm great, man. I'm blessed. Yes, he can. Yep. That was my thoughts. No, due to the hate for the fans, they might snub him. Overlooked. Let me tell y'all something. If he keep on playing like this for the next 4 weeks, they might have no choice. Putting up 120 something a game, they might be forced to. Think about it. 4 more games, put up 125 yards each. That's 500 more yards. That's 1,354 yards on the season. Probably about 12 touchdowns. They'll have to. They'll have to put him in the Pro Bowl. I'm rooting for DeVante. 125 a week. 1.5 touchdown a week. Keep feeding the beast. Because if he get over 1,300 yards by averaging 125 for the rest of the season, they have to. You can't snub that. You can't snub that. But it's going to lead us to say, gosh, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns, and you ain't in the first 9 games, you ain't even get over like 70 yards at all. Oh, next year gonna be scary. Whoa! Next year gonna be scary. Next year's would be scary. Scary, man. Oh, I want him to get 1,300. Man, he go to the Pro Bowl. Forget what I said about wait till about 6 games in the next season to restructure the deal. You restructured this offseason. You're a Pro Bowler now. We believed in you. We had faith in you. We want to reward you now. We don't want to get ridiculous out of control, but we do want to reward you. We want to sign you on a 3-year deal worth $28 million. And we want to guarantee about 16. And I'm throwing numbers off the top of my head, but that's what I'm feeling. 3-year, $28 million. 16 guaranteed. So we know we got our guy for at least 2 years. We know we got our guy for at least 2 years locked in, and then we can let him go if it don't work out. But he put up that type of season, with the team that we have now, oh my gosh, we're going to have a Pro Bowl receiver that people got to respect. That's going to open it up for Preston Williams next year. It's going to make Jakeem Grant actually a viable weapon underneath next year if he can get all up to speed and 100%. Allen Hurns going to come in and get some good production. Next year receiving core, I think we straight, y'all. I don't think we actually going to be going. I mean, they might go for one more receiver in the offseason because we're going to have the Grant who has a deal if they feel good about his injury, that is. They got to feel good about his injury because Jakeem Grant can be cut and no love lost. I told y'all that new deal was every year you got to prove it. So we're going to have DeVante, Allen Hurns under contract, Jakeem Grant under contract, Preston Williams. We got 4 guys right there that we already know we probably going to war with next season. That we know we going to war with next season. We might bring in one more guy. And I ain't even mentioned Gesicki at the tight end. We might bring in one more guy and a few more projects to see if they can emerge. EM Dolphin, stop sending me that skewed stuff. I said last 6 weeks, man. You want to send me a 4-week snapshot, talk about where's Tannehill. Want to send me a 4-week snapshot. I said the last 6 weeks. See, some of these guys ain't even make it on the 6-week one because they only have it a temporary flash. Man, I don't even know why I'm talking about that. I'm talking about Parker right now. Stop sending me false facts, man. Wait for tonight. I'll give you the business on all of this tonight. I got you. This receiving core is going to be straight next year. And we'll still probably get 1 or 2 guys in the offseason. We're going to go get a guy like a Amendola type guy. We ain't getting Amendola, but that type of guy. 1 or 2 of those type of guys. And go into the season with 6 receivers. But we already got 4 that we're going to be locked in on. You got to feel good about that right now. And DeVante Parker, man, let me tell you what DeVante Parker is doing right now. Next year, he's going to be so huge for this team because he's going to take pressure off of the other guys. They're going to have to figure out, oh my gosh, this guy Preston Williams killing us. Where if we help, now we got safety help on both sides. Now we got Allen Hurns eating in the middle. We got Jakeem Grant running crazy. Gesicki is balling. Do you know what a Pro Bowl DeVante Parker with a Preston Williams is going to do for Mike Gesicki? That's the person who's going to benefit the most. The middle of the field going to be wide open. The middle of the field is going to be wide open. Imagine play action if we can get our running game together. DeVante Parker going to demand safety help over there, catching over everybody. Preston Williams going to demand safety help. Teams going to have to run 2 high safety on us. Because if they run 1 safety, whoever at quarterback going to snap the ball, which way that 1 safety going? He going to the right? Just throw it up to the left. They going to the left? Just throw it up to the right. They going to have to run 2 high safety on us. And Gesicki's going to eat in the middle of the field. That's the one who's going to benefit the most. That's who's going to benefit the most by a breakout DeVante Parker. See, we just talk about DeVante, but you got to understand, when your receivers turn elite, you can't really count on them too much anymore. You can, but You really pay guys like that to take the pressure off of everybody else. Why you think Odell ain't having a monster season? Because he takes the pressure off everybody else. And now you got to figure out what you're going to do with Landry. Then all those other little guys start to open up. Man. I love how things are setting up, man. We done had so many ups and downs this season. Happy this moment, mad that moment, but man, somehow we still, out of all of it, we still see the light at the end of the tunnel. We still see the light at the end of the tunnel. Are you surprised by the Titans play with Tannehill? I'm not surprised, but we're not even going to get on that in detail right now. Check us out tonight because I'm giving EM the business. We ain't going to get into detail about that right now. Y'all already know how I feel about it. Man, TD, I'm mad about the Clowney situation. I know, Aaron, man. If y'all ain't heard about what Clowney said, go check out my video before this. I love it when the plans start to come together. I agree, I'm Dolphins fan, and the plan is coming together. This season has been more enjoyable than the past 10 years. Ain't that crazy, Nico? You're right. We've been losing, but it's like we learned so much while we're losing this year. We've been learning so much and seeing players blossom and develop right in front of our own eyes. This has been an interesting season. If you're a Dolphin fan, you've still been paying attention to this season. How about the Minka situation, man? Don't even get me started, man. But DeVante Parker, man, y'all hit that like button real quick for me. Let's get 60 likes. Please show your love and support. All those who don't donate, trust me, you are supporting me when you hit that like button. Punch that like button, guys. It brings the video as a suggested to other people. We got 40 likes. Let's see if we can get 60, man. Punch that like button. We got 41. One person appreciate it. 42. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hit that like button. All you got to do is remove the chat, punch the like, and bring it back. 43 likes. Where's your Minka jersey? In the closet. Next to the Tannehill jersey. 48 likes. Hit that like button, guys. Y'all want Ruggs? Y'all want another receiver in the draft? Y'all want a top receiver like Ruggs and stuff? Think about it. Like, what are we going to do with that? What Ruggs going to play? The slot? What Ruggs going to play? They going to put him in the slot? Hey, Dami, I like that. He said sometimes the light at the end of the tunnel is a train. Oh, man, I like that, man. I really do like that. I appreciate that, man. TD, yeah, he's a slot burner. Yeah, it's just that when you bring in a guy like that in the first round, you don't throw him in the slot, though. First round pick, you move him to outside and develop him usually. Ain't that what they usually do with slot burners like that? But I get it. Of course, I will put him in the slot. I just don't know if they'll invest the first round pick to try to do that. You know? But we'll see. I'm not opposed to it. But again, none of it matters if we don't address that O-line too. I got a stream coming about the O-line as well. We got to talk about what's going on because Dave Dugagliamo, however you pronounce it, he's spoken up about the O-line. He's named specific players. And we're going to talk about that. Y'all come back to TD Fans Talk real soon. I'll be live. We're going to have another conversation. Not about the O-line yet because I got something else I want to talk about right before we talk about the O-line. But y'all come back. I'll be live again pretty soon. This TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, man. I'll see y'all real soon. We got another treat coming y'all way. I got to give some recognition to somebody who deserves it, who don't get enough recognition. We talk about everybody else except this man because it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, he doing what he do, but he deserves a lot more recognition, and we're about to talk about him. Y'all tune in just a few minutes with TD Fans Talk while I give some praise to somebody who deserves it for sure on this team. Peace. See y'all real soon, man. DeVante Parker, keep balling out.